Okay, I am back with my fabric pieces cut. The cutout piece that we made for the pull, I'm going to save and use for some period panties, because this side at the back is big enough, and then you can just have it narrow at the front and cut narrow through the middle, so it should actually be quite usable. And for the top piece, I have 2 layers of the thinner bamboo fleece. You could use 1 layer of the thicker, and then 1 layer of the wicking peak, but you can use any wicking fabric like microfleece or a Lova suede cloth or wicking peak if you want a stay dry topper. If you don't want a stay dry topper, if you want it to be natural, you can just leave the cotton or the bamboo or whatever you're using exposed. I've made it both ways. I use glue stick again to sort of hold it down. I'm sure there's better ways to do it. You could pin it as well, because this middle part of the pull isn't going to be against anything, so it could be pinned if it's, you know, if you feel better pinning it. Remember that it's inset about 1/4 inch from the fabric, but for me, I find it a little easier to just do tiny dabs right on the very edge, and then just be really slow and careful when you're sewing it. And it's just enough to make it just kind of stick and hold down in place. I really like using it. I know it's probably not the best way to sew, but I always had it around with little kids anyway, so, you know, me and my glue stick, right? And then you're going to do a fairly tight, not like buttonhole tight, but like halfway with zigzag stitch around the top of this over the edge to hold it down. You could use a straight stitch if you don't care about the rough edges. You could also do something like serge it on the underside and then just have it tucked in. I've seen it done all those ways. For me, it's easier just to sort of do the overlapping zigzag like you would do for an applique. Haven't really waited for the glue stick to dry. I'm just gonna guide it and go very slow. So, you know, get rid of extra bulk near the elastics especially, but not too much. Looks pretty good. It's all sewn down fairly evenly. I think it'll hold well. At this point, we're going to take and prep our soaker pad. We're just going to prep the entire inner before we sew it onto the outer. And this is a lot of absorbency in this one because I've got 2 layers in each one of these. I've got 2 layers of cotton fleece in each one of these, you know, soaker layers. You could probably get away with 1 layer and 2 layers and 2 layers, or, you know, 2 layers and then 1 single 3 layer. You know, you don't need to have this many layers, especially if you can always add a doubler in underneath the soaker pad. This will be very bulky on a smaller baby. It would be, you know, much better on like on a crawler to toddler stage. But it is a very pretty looking diaper when you're done. So there's your fully assembled interior. And the way that you're gonna now assemble that is just like you would any diaper. So if you want to follow my sewing a diaper start to finish, I'm not going to bother stopping the fast forward at this point. I'm just going to do all the steps and fast forward. There it is turned, right side in, and now I'm going to do the elastic casings. And now that our elastic casings are done, we're just going to feed our elastic. The elastics are all installed. They're a little thicker at the casings because it's all pull, but you know, just make it nice and even. The last thing we're going to do is the top stitching to close the turning hole, and then the wings, and then add the snaps. And there's your wick reducing, cut out all-in-one, one-size diaper. And for the lowest rise, everything folds in nice and trim. This is definitely not a newborn diaper, but it could be definitely a small to large diaper. I think it'd be more ideal for crawlers and walkers. And there's your Cut out all in one size diaper. Happy sewing.